Hey, oh wow. Hi everyone. Welcome back to the second game of the day, if what I believe for Fund Texas Choice. We are running Heartbeats in Perfect Sync by Nathan Blades. This is a charity stream, as I just said. We're raising money for Fund Texas Choice. So just a little tidbit of information on there. I'd like to remind everyone any alternative to abortion access is violence. We could talk about how abortion is a medical procedure over 10 times safer than giving birth in the first trimester, or how over 1 in 4 people who can get pregnant will get an abortion at some point in their lives. But above all that, you can't have control over your life if you don't have baseline control over your body. Everybody deserves access to dignified, affordable, on-demand reproductive care. Since the federal government and most state Medicaids don't pay for abortions, reproductive health care is often paid for by a network of local nonprofit funds. These abortion funds help people who need it most pay for their abortions. If someone can't afford this time-sensitive health care, funds help them avoid a situation where they're spending weeks postponing an increasingly expensive medical procedure and chasing a rising price. If you have the disposable income, please chip in to Fund Texas Choice in the link below. Don't give up the fight for a better world. And now we're gonna start playing. So I'm assuming Nightbot or whatever bot we got going on in chat will give you the links to that. If you donate, we do have incentives for that. Every $10 that you donate, we'll give an extra D6 to a dice pool to anyone that you see here, because this game uses a lot of D6s. If you donate $20, I believe, you will help us have team moves. Everyone here can team up and do a super cool, awesome move with each other. And if you donate, I believe the $30 is a full team move. So all 4 of our players will be able to do a move against the baddies of this game. Speaking of our players, let's just do a quick round here. I want everyone to introduce themselves, their characters, pronouns, all that great stuff. As I said, I am Valdrianth. I'm your storyteller today. I am a she, they kind of person, sometimes it. But yeah, that's me. We want to go ahead and with Jay, if you would like to introduce yourself, and we'll just go around like that.
My name is Jay. I use they, she pronouns, and today I'm playing Milagro Martinez, who uses they, them pronouns.
Hi there, I'm Jess. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm playing Andie today, who also uses she, her pronouns.
Hello, I'm Anna. I use they, she pronouns, and today I'm playing Alison Gaiter, who uses she, her.
Hi, I'm Arnica, and today I'm playing Justin James, who uses they, she pronouns. I'm a she, her. I think that's everything. That's probably everything.
Are you sure?
I'm dressed as a cow.
You are, and it's very cute.
There's a hood, but y'all can't see it. Maybe I'll surprise y'all with the hood when we've got a couple donations, and all of a sudden I'll go full cow. I'll do it for Texas.
Listen, well, I would do so many things for Texas, as I lived in Texas for quite some time. I got my undergrad out there, so it's my favorite state to be in. And my favorite city happens to be the city that we're gonna start this little adventure on. It is a warm, sticky Austin, Texas fall evening, because we all know that in Texas, in the fall, it's not cold yet. You don't get cold until maybe Christmas, but that's not the case here. It is September, late September. As the camera just sort of flies in, hearing the sick beats of just some random music as it flies in and zooms into something curled around this Peter Pan statue. This Peter Pan statue stands before the entrance of a mini golf course out in South Austin, just south of Lake Travis. It is a staple of the community since 1948, I believe, and the sculptures have been there since 1948. So you can imagine how terrifying they are and how the repaints are fun. So for those of you who might know something about Austin, back in 2015, an incident occurred. That incident was a cobra escaped from its trainer in a Lowe's parking lot in central Austin. And this snake, unfortunately, bit its handler, and their handler died. The snake, however, lived forever in meme world, as the city of Austin, particularly even the city of Austin Twitter, followed this snake through its many adventures in the city, going on vacation until it was ultimately destroyed. However, years later, the pulse of that snake, of that monocle cobra, as it is called, still lives on, as they did not end their tour of the city. And so here they are, curled around this Peter Pan statue with the bodies, living bodies, but sort of in a trance, kind of like how Peter Pan puts children when he kidnaps them, of a bunch of elder millennials. So people in their mid-30s who still live in Austin and can't get over the fact that they have to grow up at some point, are hanging out here, and is essentially mind controlling these people into setting up its last hurrah in Austin, or it doesn't know its last hurrah because it wants to play mini golf. This cobra is it's monstrous in size, and just because has a top hat, a monocle, and a cane, and it hisses at the people, and it's like, hurry up, I need to have this moment. I refuse not to experience all that Austin, Texas has to offer me. And as it orders these people to do its bidding and set up this golf course and make sure there's plenty of snacks for him, the camera pans to the entrance in the main building of this golf course, entering into it, where we see the silhouette of our four heroes lined up upon it in their poses. And I would like for y'all to go around and describe yourselves as you are standing ready to fight this cobra pulse. Don't nobody fight about it first. Go in the same order that we went in for intros, if that's cool.
So Millie is probably wearing like loose flowy robes, lots of loose flowy robes in the shades of black and gray. And she has a double-ended meteor hammer. And she like strikes a pose with the chain in her hand. In their hand. Jeez.
Is there any? Does she have a catchphrase when she strikes a pose?
Oh boy. No.
No, that's fine. They don't need one. All right, cool. The camera pans over to the next person.
All right, so Andie stands next to Millie. Andie is dressed in what appears to be the grown-up dream of the Sailor Senshi outfit, like much longer, like elegant dress style with long gloves. Clearly someone who grew up on Cardcaptor and Pre-Tier. Chromatic rainbow colors shifting depending what angle you're looking at. For once, her hair is like not a frizzy mess in the Austin heat. It is nicely done, flowing long waves behind her. And she has a long bow with a quiver full of chromatic arrows and has one knocked and ready. And all right, all eyes on me.
Okay. camera pans over.
Alison is a kind of shorter, stocky lady wearing a button-down Hawaiian shirt, not unlike this one, with the embroidered little patch on the chest that says, "Hi, I'm Alison," and then it says St. Augustine Alligator Farm underneath it. She's wearing like these cut off khaki cargo shorts with a ridiculous amount of pockets that always seem to have like weird reptilian noises coming out of them. She might be keeping like animals inside of her pockets, but you don't know. You'll just have to find out. And she's also got a like one of those floppy I don't know what they're called, like the floppy hats that you wear outside with a little string on it in case it gets knocked off your head. Floppy hat. And she has a ginormous super soaker water gun that's like loaded up with this kind of glow in the darky acid green liquid in there. And her phrase that she says as she like pumps the super soaker filled with this green water is "Chomp, chomp, chum."
And last but not least, the camera pans over to our last hero, Justin.
All right. Justin stands and has absolutely arranged themselves so that the moon is directly behind them. And so that if you are in the wrong place, they seem to be blocking all, not just the moon, but the Peter Pan statue, because you see their big hat. Such a hat. For Justin is a Yankee who has recently moved down and has fully embraced just all of the Texas mythos, so much so that their super suit has changed to reflect it. Their once comfortable cardigan now sits like an old-fashioned cowboy duster, but it's still the ugliest cardigan you've ever seen. There is burnt orange. There is a caramel brown. There is a wiggly kind of pattern that you're not quite sure if someone invented a new knit or if they just didn't know how to knit. The boots, oh, the boots are tacky. The boots are big. The boots have spurs. I jingle with every movement, and my belt buckle is big enough that I can and have used it occasionally as a shield. I hook my fingers right into my right behind that belt buckle, and I say, "Y'all ready to do this?" It's the most awkward y'all anyone has ever uttered.
I was about to have coffee up my nose. As the four of you pose in front of the moonlight and say your phrases, the monocle cobra snaps around and hisses at you, and it's like, "No, I shall have my fun, and you will not ruin it," as the riffs of Green Day's Lady Cobra begins to play and the battle begins. The snake will go first in this round, however, opening its mouth. It wasn't a spitting cobra when it started, but today it is. As it opens its mouth and you see its gooey, nasty venom oozing from its fangs, only to shoot directly at, I will roll a d4. That would be Andie with your bow. And to defend yourself, Andie, we're gonna roll opposing heart rates. And the more successes is the one who wins. And you get to choose which way to bring the heart rate of the loser based on the difference of wins. So we're both, I believe, at 5. 5s and 6s are wins. So, all right, I have 2 wins.
I also have 2.
How many, do you have any 1s?
No ones.
I have 2 1s, so I'm gonna call that a loss. So we'll have an extra win. So you're able to avoid this attack, luckily enough. How does that look for you?
I think Andie just kind of shifts out of the way, moves surprisingly fast considering the long gown she's in, and the acid just like goes past, not hitting anyone else. And then I get to choose how to bring the heartbeat down for our...
Yes, you can bring it up or you can bring it down. Bringing it up will, either way will defeat this creature. Bringing it up will have its heart be unbroken when it reaches 11 heartbeats. If you bring it down to 1, it will die.
Oh, and Andie's an elementary school teacher in her mundane job. She does not want to kill the snake despite it being venomous and causing havoc and being a pulse. So we're going to raise it.
All right, we're going to raise it. All right, it is now sitting at 6. Okay, now it is all your turn. And the way that this works is I kind of just pick someone to go first. And then after that person's turn is over, that person will pick the next person to go first. If there are team moves that need to be done, make sure that, unless it's a donation team move, you can choose to do the team move whenever, but if it's a team move based on your heart rates, you have to make sure that no one has had their turn first. But since we shot at Andie, we'll just have Andie go first, and Andie, you will pass the spotlight on when you are done.
All right. So I think Andie, once she lands, will go ahead and fire that arrow she has knocked towards the snake to hopefully get its attention.
You have its attention. What would you like to do other than that?
I mean, to also keep it in place so everyone else can have an easier time of things.
All right, did you want to shoot it with an arrow? Did you want to use a move? All right, so all right, go ahead, and again, you're rolling 5, so let's go. I got 6.
That is 3 successes.
Yeah, well, luckily for you, I only got 1 on that one, so that is a 2 success change as well for you. But what does this look like, this power, this ability that you use?
So when Andie fires the arrow and it strikes the snake, it doesn't like penetrate, it doesn't do anything like that. It's just a spark of rainbow lights. This is all very child friendly, again, elementary school teacher. And it just pins the snake with these chromatic rainbow like lens flares.
All right, I imagine that you have an entire stream of rainbow streamers a la Rainbow Bright just sort of wrap around the snake in a similar way that a snake would probably even coil around something, just anchoring it into the concrete of this, and it hisses and it attempts to thrash. Its monocle flies off and it's like, I just need a hole in one. Who are you passing the spotlight to?
I'd also like to quickly pop in and just say, to give you all the information you need for donations, we have a 1d6 for everybody. We have a 1d6 for the first person in character who does something gay. We have a team up for Andie and Justin, and then the one from earlier, we had a team up for Jay and Arnica. All right, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So keep those in mind, everyone, as you go forward in this. Okay, so who are you passing on to?
We are going to pass on to Jay.
And a team up for Anna and Jess.
Okay.
So it's pinned in place, so I'm going to look at Justin and be like, can you throw me?
All right.
And then I'm gonna start running.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tip my hat, just like I've seen in every Western, and I'm gonna pull out my lariat. And my lariat is actually made of tightly woven words. It is made of every wish, dream, and hope I have to defend the people of Austin. And it is glowing right now as I whirl it around my head and whip it over and catch my good friend Millie. I catch them around the ankle and pop the rope up as hard as I can, rope tricking them into the air into an enormous spin against the moon before they drop into their move.
And Millie's going to land down on the snake in like a 3-point superhero pose, and you're gonna see like black ink splash up. Nice. And cover the snake to Oh, keep it trapped. Maybe
Okay.
debuff.
Debuff it. Interesting. All right. So with team rolls, because this I assume is a team roll, y'all both roll your heartbeat and count your successes and your failures. I will do the same. I will, however, be adding 2d6 for this snake's tag to help defend itself with hard scales, because it's, it would like to not be debuffed. Or reflective scales, I would even say, kind of like adding like a spell reflection of some sort to see if it can escape in its defense, not just from your attack, but even the rainbows. So we're all rolling against each other. If you have any tags that you would like to apply to these rolls for both of you, that would add 2d6 to your roll. So both of you, go ahead and do that.
I would be applying the tag martial arts.
Okay. I'm going to be an enormous pain in the ass. I'm going to use the additional D6 from the donation, and I'm going to get 2 additional D6 for using Lariat as part of our team move. So that's one of my tags. So that means I'm rolling 8d6, and I get I have 3 successes and no failures.
Okay.
So
that's 3 total, and you
2
got
successes
2
and 3 failures.
Wow. So out of the 8 dice that I rolled, I, however, rolled 7 successes and no failures. So with that, I do believe that means your heartbeats will be going down. So how many so we had 2 and 3, right? So 5 total. So yep. So each of you will, your heart rate will go down by 2. Just the 2 people who performed the move, as you do this super awesome, amazing move, right? And you try to cover this thing in ink and rainbows, and you just feel like Jay, as you're Millie, as you're just standing on top of the snake after covering it, you feel its body vibrate, and it vibrates to the point where it shakes off the ichor of the ink that you just poured onto it, and sends you flying as ink and rainbows essentially burst into a blue flame, and it burns away as this snake stands, as well, lifts its body up in a very sense, if you've ever played Final Fantasy VII, towers over you like the Midgar serpent does, like Midgar Swarmer does, and it seems even fucking bigger like as it does this. And I believe, since the 2 of you had your team move, that leaves Alison to wrap up what's happening here, as his monocle is hanging at this point, but he still has his hat and his bow tie.
So I have a team up with Andie. Can I use my turn to set us up for that? Because it's kind of a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and do that. It's a donation team up, so we'll ignore the rule that Andie went already.
Okay, so I'm going to cock my super soaker, and I'm going to take a series of 3 shots at the snake. 1 to try and knock the hat off its head, 1 to hit it in the bow tie, and just 1 for extra wounded pride, I guess. And as I do each of the volleys of shots, I'm going to call out, what are you, some kind of rattlesnake? Constrictor? Garter snake? Gotta be a garter snake, right? And I just tickle it in where the snake belly would be with my
emotional damage.
Yeah, with my super soaker.
And Andie, how are you assisting our reptilian wrangler here?
I think while Alison is taunting our snake, Andie is going to start setting up a perimeter with some of her arrows, just shooting them at random points in the ground, because she is going to attempt to put the snake in timeout, and we're going to use a tag for that. We're going to do the all eyes on me. Follow directions. Snake's misbehaving and has to go to timeout.
I don't think I'm going to use
all
a
right,
tag.
there you go.
yet.
All right, so same thing. We're all rolling here. We combined your wins and against mine.
That is one win. Rough.
That's also only one win.
Oh,
One.
Oh.
I think with this time, it's a difference of 2 because I had 4 wins. Difference of 2. This time, as y'all valiantly attempt to put this snake in his place, he is determined. Like he has to play mini golf. You don't understand. Like this is where he exists. And so as like the super soaker is aiming at this one, he does like the complete dodge out of the way of this, and it's like, I've been avoiding this. I remembered you, Alison, like getting out of the way sort of thing. But on top of that, the perimeter that Andie, that you have been setting, the unfortunate thing is that all of the people here are under this snake's charm, and every arrow that you shoot, there is an elder millennial pulling it out of the ground and just tossing it to the side. And the more that like, and every time like they pull an arrow out, they just look like they come from like the Lost Boys of Hook. It just transforms them, and they just toss it to the side.
Oh. We're getting taken
is...
down by a Rufio. Change strategy.
So this guy, it is now our snake's turn. Once again, as he sort of looks around at the 4 of you, and is going to attempt to constrict you, all 4 of you. What's up?
Are you moving our heart rates up or down?
That's right. Y'all heart rate will go up by 2.
Okay.
The 2 of you, because this is a little bit more of an emotional frustration for you than it is a physical issue for you. So your heart rates will go up by 2.
At least I didn't roll any ones.
There you go. So that being said, he will use his entire body to sweep across and whip and find all 4 of you. So all 4 of you will need to roll a defense against, and he is using his tag, all snakes can constrict. So, so he is at 8 as well.
Okay.
All right. So my heart rate is a 3. Thank you. And I rolled 2 6s and a 4.
2 6s and a 4. So the 2 6s, so that's 2 successes from you.
I rolled 3 hits, but I also rolled a 1.
3 hits and a 1.
2 hits and a 1.
2 hits and a 1. Okay.
And 2 hits.
And 2 hits. All right. So I only rolled a single success. So that's all of the successes. We'll actually kind of do this almost like a group move.
Okay.
And that y'all can move his heart rate either down or up. It is up to y'all to vote on that. And who had the most successes, actually?
I think I did. I had 3.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead. So what was your top? Was like 3?
I had 2 6s, a 5, and a 1.
Yes, he had 3. We'll just say he had 3. So you get to move it by 2. So you move it 2 up or 2 down.
What is he at currently?
He's at 7 out of 10.
And if we move up to 10, we can take him out, but not like kill him, right?
Yeah, you have to get him exactly at 11 for him to be down.
Okay, I think then move up. Is everybody okay with that?
Okay.
Okay, I feel like, can I flavor this since we did kind of a group check that like I see that Justin's having some trouble like getting harried by the snake, and so I'm like, okay, our establish a perimeter didn't work, scatter. And I'm just gonna go over and like work with you for a little bit to like make sure that, you know, we've got each other's backs and stuff, and we'll make the snake go up by 2.
All right, cool.
All right.
It is now at 9, so harder to fight against, but only 2 away from being defeated. So with that, I'm going to roll again. Actually, who would like to go first? Who has an idea to go first on your round? If not, I will roll a d4 and volunteer someone. All right, there we go. It is going to be Jay. Or Millie. Millie, you're up first.
All right. Where's the snake right now?
The snake is currently coiled around the entire building. It tried to go after all of you, but like the interest building that y'all, it's sort of coiled around and just mid-Gorshwormers over it. Its top hat is tilted to the side, about to fall off. Like he's like balancing it furiously.
Can I jump on its head? I would like to.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah, jump on its head and doing what?
All right, so I would like to wrangle it with my meteor hammer so I can use the momentum to like launch myself on top of the head. And then I would like to use my tag of sigils, because that's part of the tattooing that Millie does. And I want to put a sigil for rest. Okay. I want to like put it to sleep, or at least in stasis or something.
Okay. Yeah, no, I got it.
And I should roll that.
Yep, let's roll.
Cool. I have 4 successes and no misses.
And I have 3, so you got it. You are able to move its heartbeat by 1 and put this sigil. So go ahead and flavor that. How does this look, friend?
So I think it's also once Millie is on top of the head, it's they draw it with their finger, but it manifests as black ink, and then it like sinks into the head of the snake.
As you do this, the snake, you kick its top hat off, right? Because you need to, and when the hat like sort of like falls to the ground, it doesn't like make an impact with the concrete. It just sizzles into the shadows of the night as it's disconnected from this snake. And it sort of wobbles and woos, and just, it's almost like, I can't yet, I can't, must. City of Austin Twitter, Reddit must live. And like it has only, you can feel its heart rate just like, it's so fast. Like it's, you know, its little snake heart, its giant snake heart is just so fast. And it's, who are you passing the spotlight to?
I'm passing the spotlight to Andie.
Okay, Andie. It's almost there.
Okay. I think Andie is gonna lower her bow since she was fairly close to the snake since it attempted to grapple, and she's just gonna say, okay, you know, we understand, I hear you, but it's time to be done now. It's time to take a nap. Time to rest. And basically, she's just trying to convince the snake to stop.
Okay. I'm just trying to convince the snake to stop.
Gotta calm down.
Gotta calm down. Okay. You know, winter's coming. You're gonna need to find a place to be warm and rest. All right. Let's we're still rolling for it, but let's go.
That was a terrible roll.
Yeah, let's see how terrible I go. Mine wasn't much better. What did you get?
No successes and 2 1s.
Well, I got a single success. So it's your heartbeat goes up one as you see that you are not reaching this animal, or the essence of this animal, the pulse of this animal that, as you're starting to recollect, is actually already dead, right? Like this is just it feels like its life is unfinished, and that's why it's still here and it wants to continue on. Who are you passing the spotlight to?
Pass the spotlight to Justin.
All right, Justin, what's up?
All right. So let's see. I'm looking at this frustrated, half asleep snake having what is essentially a toddler's meltdown because it wants to go play mini golf, but it's a tired, dead snake. And also he doesn't have I don't know how the hell he plans on playing golf, y'all. Has this snake not once thought about the fact that it does not have hands? Like, has this ever come up? I feel like I damn near feel like I should bring this up to the snake, but at the same time, that feels cruel. So you know what I'm gonna do? I have a tag. I have a tag called Wordsmith.
Mm-hmm.
And what this attack lets me do is it lets me form an item from a word, from descriptions of the word. So I'm going to go ahead and roll using my tag Wordsmith, and I'm going to roll my eyes and stand there and start to describe a ridiculously large golf club, a golf club that is worked by an enormous snake slithering into this metal contraption and wiggling itself just so. And the little tiny golf ball, a regular sized golf ball, that will come attached to this enormous golf club. Now, if the snake wiggles into this enormous, ridiculous contraption, it can then wiggle itself and lightly thump a human-sized golf ball with its enormous monster snake club that I am describing. And maybe that will, you know what? Maybe the snake will, sometimes you just need to tell the toddler, sure, you can go to Mars when you wake up. So maybe if I just give him this ridiculous garbage golf club and let it hit a stupid golf ball, it will go away. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Let's go.
All right, so that means I'm rolling 5 because I'm rolling 2 for my tag.
Mm-hmm.
And I have 2 successes.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't roll a single fucking success and a whole bunch of 1s. So excellent. So as you begin to describe in a very poetic manner, even like the dream of playing mini golf to the snake, its eyes, the lids of snakes are there, you know, it does this weird like reptilian close. It doesn't have lids, it has like an inner lid, right? That it just sort of, and you just sort of hear this, yes, that ball is so large and it rolls. It's a hole in one. And it just begins to like shrink and shrivel, and you see little bits of light, like its scales light up as if they're iridescent, and they start to sort of float into the sky as it begins to fade away. Its very large bow tie falling to the ground, and becoming a normal sized bow tie next to, on the concrete, an entire snake skin, with the full beautiful pattern that is a monocle cobra displayed upon it. Around this cobra, you see the people that it had enslaved Their eyes sort of glaze over back for a moment and just sort of looking around confused. And, one guy goes, yo, that stuff from Colorado, it's different. I'm like, yep. And and it's like, did you do your closing? Nah, I didn't yet. All right. And almost like unaffected and almost if they don't realize that you're even there, just or that anything happened other than a bad trip. They saw the green monster. They begin to close their mini golf course as the four of you sort of stand here successful in your endeavor. And I myself, your GM / storyteller, has a full bladder, so I am going to pee. So you can have a little scene here where y'all all just sort of have a moment to decompress while I do that. So.
Well, I guess that takes care of worrying about us not having any memory wiping powers.
I suppose it makes things a little easier.
Yeah. Real question is, what are we going to do with this snake skin? Because that's going to start raising some questions when they get back here, start of their shift tomorrow.
I mean, I know a guy who makes stuff out of, taxidermy, roadkill. I'm sure he could make something cool out of this.
Yeah, I think that'd be nice.
You know a roadkill guy?
Yeah, you don't have one of those friends that just, finds dead stuff and then turns it into jewelry or art.
Yeah, I have one.
I do not.
Well, you're missing out.
I'm from a very different kind of city. Dead things included rats and pigeons.
I mean,
You did not make jewelry out of them. You fought them and hoped they didn't take your pizza to the subway.
I don't know. I have some friends sometimes, when they make a little taxidermy, a little, rat jar. It's nice. Nice decor.
Little like earrings out of rat skulls or something. I've
seen
that before. Yeah.
She gets it.
Yeah.
Justin looks a little bit pale and a little bit green simultaneously. There is a weird off rhythm kind of shaking to their spurs. And they're going to go ahead and just pull their hat down and be like, that sounds lovely.
Yep. I think, Millie, go ahead. You can take the skin to your friend because, wow.
Folding it up.
I will. Yes, I was going to say I will help Millie roll this sleeping bag worth of dead skin.
It's about 10 feet long. Yeah,
this is a real
it's
find.
Not that wide,
but really tall snake.
Yeah. A real treasure trove.
Yeah. The bow tie is also there still. That was the one piece of his costume that didn't get destroyed. So, yeah.
Could I take a look at that? And I know that this is a world in which we're kind of used to weird shit happening.
Yeah.
But I want to see if I can learn from either the skin or the bow tie, basically anything short of having to talk to these people that just think that they're on a bad trip and figure out why was this snake going berserk?
Yeah,
Does it seem
absolutely.
like it's likely to strike again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead and just roll your heart rate and we'll just make it a normal an easy difficulty, so just one success.
All I need is one success. Don't fail me, dice. I got 3 successes and a 1.
Yeah, so because it's a difficulty thing, the 1 doesn't count. So with 3 successes, you did an incredible job. So you this is Alison, this whole thing, this is a snake that escaped someone that you know of. Not necessarily that you knew, but you knew of them. You know of this incident. This snake comes from the place that you worked at years ago, but it's still that particular snake. But at the same time, the snake itself is representing the spirit of this city, and the people who live here, the people who move here, the spirit of the meme that became this snake, that sort of living on in the hearts of people in this city, in that people move to Austin to not grow up. And that was its representation, and that's what was fueling it. So it's not necessarily the snake itself that was, or the heart of this snake that was broken, so much it was the heart of the people and the spirit of the meme. As collectively things are just have gotten a little depressing in Texas.
Well, that sucks. I really only know how to deal with sick animals and not broken hearts. It's a little bit different.
Well then, the rest, if we're good with said scene, the rest of you, it's late, but you are in South Austin, and you all know that just down the street there is a little Mexican bakery that is 24-hour breakfast tacos, to fuel yourselves for your trip home for the evening. It's where you can return to your normal mundane lives afterwards. And I want to be able to sort of look into that for all of you. What do the mundane lives of magical girls or superheroes are in the city of Austin, in an actual Peter Pan land? A little playground in Texas for people who don't quite fit into the rest of the state. And I will roll a d4 again to see who we're going to spotlight first. And it looks like we're actually going to go to Alison first with a 3.
Well, Alison's mundane life is just a slightly less high octane version of what we just did. So her mundane life is basically working as a animal conservationist, zookeeper type person. And the reason why she's in Austin right now is because the zoo there is a partner institution for her work at the St. Augustine Alligator Farm. So right about now, since it's close of business hours, it's one of those times when you just want to catch up on your emails and finish filing your paperwork and doing all the stuff that you need to do for taxes in the off season. But also, I think additionally having that snake skin that her and Millie rolled up, I'm really curious to see if your guy knows anything more about, anything else that could be making the animals around here act all weird.
Okay. So Millie in her normal life is in their normal life is a tattoo artist. They recently finished their tattoo apprenticeship. They specialize in black work and sigils. And one of their coworkers is the taxidermy guy. In his spare time, he does, go looking for roadkill for bones. And
the most Texas fucking thing. I know at least 3 Texans that just go collect roadkill bones.
This is in Florida too.
I was gonna say, it was a Florida thing too.
But it's just like, well, I have a present for you. Sets down this folded massive snake skin.
Your friend, your taxidermy friend, did you have a name for them?
Ross.
Ross's eyes just get like super anime excited. Like there's like a sparkle and a star, and it's like that is the largest snake skin I have ever seen. Oh, and it's a cobra. Where did you get this? You can't exactly just import cobra skin into Texas.
I mean, it's like let's not ask questions. Just
I got you.
It's a gift.
Yeah. Oh man, look, it's just the intricate pattern of the. Oh man. Oh, thank you, Millie.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Have you noticed in your searching, have you noticed any more dead animals than normal? Like dying in weird ways or anything?
You know, not so much like animals, but I will say that there has been a recent blossom in sundews lately, and because of that, there has been like the insects around have been a little less fervulous or hungry, but that also kind of means that we're having our bats are kind of having problems finding snacks. But yeah, there has definitely been some bloom and some carnivorous plants, but nothing necessarily with like the animals. But it has been uncharacteristically hot even for September, so that's what I would assume is just kind of causing these sundews to just be like, hey, what's up? For those of you who don't know, sundews are a carnivorous plant. They sort of like have these leaves that roll out and have little tendrils, like suction tendrils, that just feel around for any kind of insect that will land on them. And they are native to Central Texas. There's lots of sundews that exist. They're native to Central Texas. They're very cool. And when a insect will land on it, it just sort of like rolls up like a little cinnamon roll and like brings it to like the center of its body as it decomposes the insect like inside of its leaves to feed itself.
That's a little weird, but maybe I'll see if anybody else I know has noticed anything like that.
Just blame it on global warming, like, because it's true. So are you at your shop, by the way?
Yes.
Okay. So as you are, as the two of you are just in your shop and in Texas, your phone actually rings. Yeah. Ring, ring. It's your work phone. Yeah, it's your work phone.
Oh, work phone. Okay.
Yeah, it's your work phone. Hello. Is this what's the name of your tattoo shop?
Broken Heart Tattoo.
Oh yeah, I need to talk to someone about an appointment that was made and a deposit that was also made, and I need to cancel that appointment and I need my deposit back. I need it back.
Who's your artist?
I believe it was Millie was my artist. Well, it's not my artist. It's actually my daughter's artist. I believe what is it? And you hear like this woman is scrambling to get the information. I believe she was getting a black and white lizard or something. She put down a deposit of $300. Like I said, I have to cancel this and get it back.
I guess I'm looking through like client intake forms. How old is there? Anybody who matches this, and how old are they?
Yeah, they are 19 years old. The The match is for a Louisa Dubrock, 19 years old, who did in fact have a black and white gecko. They wanted a leopard gecko on their forearm.
Well, I'm sorry, ma'am. Deposits are non-refundable, so either Louisa can come in and get this tattoo, or the money's already gone.
There's this inhale of air that you hear from the other end of the phone, and you recognize that level of inhale, and you understand you are about to have a Karen moment over this phone.
I hang the phone up.
You hang the phone up?
I'm not going to get yelled at
You hear
work.
the voice begin as you just hang up the phone, and it continues to ring several times, and messages are left because I'm assuming you just don't pick them up. I dropped a D4. That's going to be dangerous later. Sort of thing. So, and Ross kind of looks over at you like, everything all right? As he's putting together like the beginnings of like a cobra taxidermy.
Just customers, they want their deposit back sometimes because they get buyer's remorse, but like, not today.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We're going to switch scenes actually, to possibly not the same day. Who do you want to? We'll just pass a spotlight of who, Millie, on who you want to see their mundane scene into, and we'll get back to Alison too later. I have an idea for Alison for the end, but so for the other two, would you like to see what we do with Andie or Justin?
Let's see Justin.
Yeah, Justin. What's going on, Justin?
All right, so let's see. It's late in the morning, but not quite noon. And I am just rolling up to open up the bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
I happen to be co-owner of a new, very small bookstore. It's not doing terribly, but it's not doing as well as it could. I heard Austin was weird, so I'm like, I'm going to go and do this. I've come down with one of those unfortunate kind of Yankee mindsets where it's like, I know how to do this. It'll be so cute and it'll fit right in. It'll do so much better. And instead I'm coming in and kind of finding I've been humbled. I'm about 3 months into humble pie and I'm starting to kind of get my feet under me, but things are slow. So I'm opening up the store and I'm just kind of spending the day in there. I'm kind of arranging the bookshelves I've really started trying to highlight more local authors. I'm trying to get people in with their zines. So I'm trying to arrange those in the front. I'm trying to pull people in off the street. And I'm not doing a great job at it.
Okay. Go ahead and give me just give me a heart rate roll. I want to see what happens here.
All right. I got 1 success and 2 fails.
I love it. So you're just like trying to get people into this bookstore. Most people are not not really paying attention to you, but also like they don't care that you're having a bookstore. There's a lot of polite, no thank you, I gotta go. No thank you, I gotta go. But there is this one time where you're just maybe with that one success that you ended up having, and you ended up, this little this little hipster is just like, oh, what kind of bookstore is it? I haven't seen this before. What's and starts to talk to you about what's going on, and is interested in going inside. But as you sort of like turn to take this person in into your store, somebody like knocks into you, and you feel the dampness and the warmth that is coffee that spills as it's between the two of you. And this woman, she steps back, and she's dressed in and if somebody was trying to look like they meant business, like maybe like a job interview business suit, or someone who needs to go to court but is not quite. And the coffee is over you, it's over her blouse, it's over her manila folder, and she's in her 40s, mixed Hispanic and white, just kind of like looks up at you and is just like, why were you just standing in the street?
I'm gonna look her up and down, and it's going to be one of those real slow looks. I'm going to make sure that I take in the fact that I see that she's got on them Payless shoes. Mm-hmm. And I am well aware that suit was on sale at JCPenney's 2 years ago when it was already 3 years out of style. And I do most certainly see that those aren't even middle folders from Staples. You got those at the Dollar Tree. Don't try me.
You definitely got them at the Dollar Tree. Yeah.
But then I'm going to take a deep breath, because you know what? She looks a little bit harried. She kind of looks stressed. And I'm from New York. I have had hotter coffee dumped on me by madder people than this in nicer clothes. And I kept my composure. So I am going to take a deep breath. I'm going to give her the cutting eyes. But then, in what I feel is the spirit of true Southern hospitality, I'm going to ask her, does she need to come in and go wipe down in the restroom?
How very kind of you. And like, there's just like, it's very snappy. She is not as calm as you are, kind of thing. But unless you have a blouse I could use, I am just going to look like this and without caffeine. And she like stoops down, brings up her stuff, looks in her folder, and like puts out the paper and like shakes it. And it's like, I don't fucking have time for this. And just sort of like storms off.
All right, I'm going to let her go ahead and stomp down the block and turn the corner. And I'm going to turn to the kid who I was talking to earlier and be like, that's a shame, because I did have a blouse she could use.
Well, you should have caught her, but you know, Karen's, right? And like goes inside. Sort of thing. Is you know what? And this kid finds at least 3 books that they're going to buy at full price. So you know, jokes on the world. Justin got their bread today. So let's go. With that, Andie, what does a mundane life sort of look for you?
So Andie is a transplant to Austin, much like everyone else, from Philadelphia. Came here after college from some organization that recruited young, hopeful, naive people to teach in schools, and never left. Fell in love with Austin, fell in love in the city, has since broken up, and probably for the first time in her life is trying to figure out how to handle all of that.
Yeah.
So it's after school. It's well after the school day, but she doesn't really want to go home. So she's finding excuses not to leave her classroom, such as like, you know, tidying up, grading these assignments, even though she's already graded them and they're in the, you know, they're in the computer, they're in the grade book. But yeah, she hasn't quite figured out life without her significant other and this new freedom that comes with not having to be a responsible grown-up all the time in Austin.
Yeah.
So she's avoiding going home and just buzzing around her classroom.
And there is it's a very quiet afternoon. In fact, a lot of people, most people have sort of like left already. There is a lot of, everyone wants to sort of avoid traffic because they've begun to set up Austin city limits for the next weekend, which is one of the biggest music festivals. It's a mess. Like, and if you're on one side of the river and you have to get to the other side of the river, just trying to cross there's like 2 bridges they want to go. Luckily enough for you, you don't have to cross a river to get home. So, you're avoiding it. But because you're avoiding it, you are sort of the only one sort of in this space as of right now. Where do you spend most of your time while you're avoiding going home on this campus? It's an elementary school, right? Yeah. What is what grade do you teach?
Andie's a kindergarten teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if she's not in her classroom, she might like wander down to some of the benches, like in one of the hallways up front near the entrance of the school. That's like her break spot.
Okay. So you're sort of hanging out in your break spot in the entrance of the school. It is about 4:59. So it's not quite 5 o'clock yet. But the school secretary has left, but you hear the school phone ringing.
Doesn't even think anything of it. Goes over and answers. Hi, Parkway Elementary.
Hi. I'm so glad I've been just, my name is Carissa Dubrock. I'm here calling on behalf of my daughter Louisa. We had been on a waiting list, and who do I talk to get off of that to opening up that space?
Well, ma'am, I apologize. I'm just one of the classroom teachers here. The administration, the registrar, they've already gone home for the day. But I tell you what, I can write down your name and I can hopefully find out for you tomorrow.
I'm gonna be very, very busy tomorrow. But sure, just if you could do that, it would be under Louisa. It would be something, 4 or 5 years down the line. But I know, like, just getting the fact that we got on here with the lottery was a miracle to begin with. But I'm sorry. Hold on a second. That fucking bookseller in the middle of the street changing clothes. Yes, Louisa Dubrock, but you would need to call me, and she gives you the number, and her name is Carissa, sort of thing. Thank you. Why has no one answered my phone? I've called 8 times today, and finally someone answers, and you can't do anything. What is the world coming to?
Well, ma'am, the school does technically close at 2:30, but like I said, I will deliver your message to somebody who hopefully can help you.
Thank you. It just hangs up.
Kind of looks at the phone for a moment and also hangs up and okay. Gonna stay away from the front desk.
That's a good idea. The next day, in the morning. So, and we'll even say that this is a lovely. We'll even say it's a Friday morning. This is a couple of days after the snake incident. Perfect. 3:20. I'm here for it. or 3:10. Got 20 minutes to break. I'm here for it. This is the Allison. It's a couple of days after the snake incident. It probably happened on a Sunday, and this is that following Friday. Allison, you are at your herp, your herp terrarium, looking at all the creepy crawlies and stuff like that. Well, wherever you're at, hear the bell.
Feeding the African bullfrog.
Yep.
That's
We
Anna's
love
IRL favorite
it's
large frog. So
listen, frogs are predators.
they are. They're not nice. They're cute, but they're not nice.
You can go on tangents about frogs.
Listen, I made this character for a reason.
And you hear your door open, like and you have a little ding on your door as if it was a shop, mostly just not because you are a shop, but because it's just an indicator. We like to have audio indicators when people enter into our spaces, right? And yeah, there's a woman walks in, dressed in Payless shoes, a slick bun, a black blouse, and khaki pants. And she has a very small plastic, like a transport terrarium that she has with her.
How are you coming to surrender an exotic animal? This is actually private. We have a different area that you got to go through, but I'll go get the paperwork.
It's not a complete surrender. I just need someone to help me.
Okay, all right.
It's not mine, and I don't. And she kind of like puts a little. I think it's actually disgusting. It's my daughter's.
Okay.
She's just. I don't know what to do with it. I just need to leave it here while I handle something. Until she can take it back.
Wait, until she can take it back. I mean, we have an amnesty program and all, but we're not like a pet sitting thing. You can't just surrender an exotic animal and then take it back. It's not going to happen.
Well, why not? Like, I just need someone who knows what they're doing, because it means a lot to her. I just don't know what to do with it.
Well, what is it?
I don't know. It's a lizard.
I suppose it would be too much to hope that this was see-through walls of the terrarium that she brought.
You can go in and look at it. No, it's plastic, right?
Okay. I was like,
yeah.
Man, okay. Can I like just examine it and see if there's anything weird about it? Like it's wearing a monocle and a bow tie, or
it's a leopard gecko.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's a leopard gecko. And it looks very healthy, actually, and well taken care of. It does its little, licks its eye, kind of looks and tilts its head, sort of thing.
So if you're not surrendering this to the zoo, I'm technically not supposed to do this because I'm working, but I do take care of people's reptiles when they're away on vacation. So if you need a pet sitter for like a day, we can make that happen.
How much?
$55
for
a day?
for 55 for a day?
Yeah.
So if I need it for, and she kind of gets out her purse and starts, if I need it for like a week, I could just pay you for the week.
Sure.
Okay. Fuck. Hold on a second. I need to make a phone call to see if I could. One second. And she kind of turns and she leaves. And if you listen carefully, it sounds like she's canceling a tattoo appointment. But, and just as she's about to get riled up at the person who's refusing to refund her, she yells, "Fucking bitch, and just like hangs it up, and just this almost frustrated tears sort of like swell her eyes, and she's just like, she walks back in, her face just red, not from the coffee burns, but just from, and she's like, I've got 150.
Yeah, that's
I'll
bad.
if I'm not back, just considered it surrendered.
Wait a minute. Are you sure there isn't something else that you want to tell me that's going on here? Because, like, if somebody is, what do you mean if you're not back?
Well,
You're not going to the moon, are you?
no, I'm staying here. It's just that if I can't take care of it,
Okay.
and I don't know anyone who could take care of it if something happens. So I've got a very busy weekend ahead of me, and I can't worry about this.
I'm going to give you my phone number. You give me
Thank you.
yours. That way, if
Mhm.
there's any problems, we can
Right.
get in touch with each other. Hope you got that deposit back on the tattoo, but
I didn't.
yep. Does this person look like she's from out of town?
No.
Okay.
And in fact, she gives you her card, and it looks like she works for the city of Austin.
Interesting.
Like she's a paralegal even.
a paralegal for the state. Okay.
Yeah. Well, for the city.
or
Mhm.
for the city. Yeah, you did say
Yeah.
for Austin,
Mhm.
which is not a state.
It could be its own city state, but that's another. Yeah, it's like
that's the
Carissa.
Texas
Yeah,
history lesson coming up there.
yeah. It says
okay.
Carissa Dubrock on it. Paralegal.
Carissa
City.
Dubrock. Okay.
Dubrock. Yep.
Well, all right then. Just shoot me a text message if you need anything, and I'll have your does the lizard have a name?
Spot? I don't know. I never asked.
All right. Well, I'll have you and your lizard all set to go in about a week.
Thanks. I promise. I will pay when I get money. I promise you. I promise you. I really honestly appreciate it. And she sort of like gathers her things and hands you a bottle of dried shrimp that she also had in her purse. I think she vetted this. I don't know. And just is like, okay. And exasperated, she leaves the building, and you sort of watch her get into her Honda Civic from the 90s. And she drives off, leaving you there with this leopard gecko that apparently is or may not be named Spot.
I have a question.
Yes.
This is probably gonna sound a little weird.
Okay.
I'm gonna like level with the gecko, just like eye to eye here, and just be like, I don't think she's coming back to pick you up. And there's been some real weird things happening around here. So I don't normally do this when I first meet a new creature, but you doing okay? Do you have a real name? And I want to see if this is going to like talk the way that the snake did. But I also have, it seems like too much to use tags on this, but I really just want to figure out if I can. I would like to use my tag called Florida Man Oddness to try and talk to the lizard and see what's going on.
Okay.
I don't know what it's going to say back, but I'm really trying hard here.
No. Go ahead, please. Please.
Okay, so 7, that's 9 dice because my heart rate's pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's also a 6. 5 hits.
Yeah. This was a fairly hard challenge for you to do, but 4 is what you need to sort of have like this incredible outcome. And so you're staring and you're squaring off with this gecko, right? And it just it stares right back at you, and its tongue flips out, licks its eye again to clean it, and just sort of tilts its head to see, the shrimp container that you have, which it is what it is, but you're not getting anything necessarily from this gecko. However, because you rolled so high, what you do notice, just with your Florida man weirdness and with your own innate abilities to sense a pulse, a heartbreak, a tear, you see something sort of break the veil momentarily around this gecko. And it's not physically attached to it. It's just a lingering presence of an almost fog, a mist, so to speak. And it's a little puff sort of right above the handle, this dark mist where Carissa held it. And then if you tilt your head and look up, you just see the slight wispy trail of that leading out into your parking lot.
Shit.
And I think with that, as we see this Honda Civic parking in front of the state capitol, going to present her case to Congress, you hear just the sense of Ghost by Mystery Skulls just sort of beat into it. And as it fades, as she goes through the doors of the tallest capitol in the US, at least taller than our actual capital in DC. They made it a point to do that because that's what Texas does. I think this is a really, we're very close, but Mur, if you're there, I think this is a really good time for us to fade into our break.
All right, everybody, we'll be back anywhere between 5 and 15 minutes. Please stretch, hydrate, pet your pets, and we'll be back soon. Bye.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to our Heartbeats and Perfect Sync stream charity event running for Fun Texas Choice. We are here to support abortion rights and reproductive care for all, but very specifically to people within Texas who need access to that care because they're having issues with that right now. I mean, we all are, but there are certain places in our country that are a little bit harder than normal. But we're back. If you are just joining us before, we watched our elusive crew here, the Heroes of Austin, Texas, this little a magical girl crew, essentially, who had recently saved the city from a snake meme, the essence of a meme that was terrorizing South Austin with its need to never grow up and play mini golf. We got a view into the mundane lives of our heroes as they went along selling books, running tattoos, taking care of animals, not wanting to go home alone after a long day at school, teaching kindergarten of all things, not just being at school, but being the infrastructure that is the school. And it is now a Friday evening. It is, again, warm, a little sticky from the humidity. But if there's no, and I say evening, it's around 7 p.m. And there's still a little bit of dusk, a little bit of sunlight still on the horizon. So there's that warm glow that sort of perpetuates the sky with yellows and oranges, reds and purples. As the four of you, who aren't just a team of scouts, of magical girls, but you are friends. And if there's no pulse to be taken down, Friday night is your night. It is your night to get together, to catch up, and to check in on each other. And you'll have a little space where it is as most places in Austin, it is both a coffee bar and a bar that is on a patio. And it is situated just outside of the campus of University of Texas. It's this little spot. It is called this, but I would like to reiterate, there are none of these. The spot is called Spider House because of the webs, but there is no actual spooters. I would like to point out. It is an adorable patio bar with it's great because it's an actual house that was converted into a bar. So the building itself is a house, and the entire yard has just been made into this patio setting where people can go and lounge. There's Christmas lights hanging. Sometimes there is like music. There's a group there that meets every Friday alongside you. Just this one guy that has a bowling pin, and a whole bunch of people just gather and like hang out. Some of you know this is to be like a social anxiety meetup that just happens there, sort of thing. You might even recognize a friend there or two. And people like to be here. It is a chill space. The margaritas are $5. Okay. And if you don't want a margarita, there is coffee and cappuccinos. It has something for everyone, including food. So here is the four of you and where you're at. And this is for y'all. This is for y'all to interact with each other and what's going on.
Andie has a margarita and coffee.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty normal for her on a Friday for you all. If this is what when we don't have something else to do, alcohol and coffee.
Yes.
Alison also has a margarita, and because I'm imagining this is like the kind of place where you would also have like chips and salsa, just keeps like ordering extensively more chips because you have to make sure that the proportions are right, and they always give you too much salsa and not enough chips, and then the chips break because they're all thin and stuff. They're not like the scoopy kind that are actually got some structure.
Yeah, because these tortilla chips are made in house. Okay, they are fresh.
Okay,
but also means that they break easier.
Yeah, they're just like super fragile, like little baby eggshells or something.
Mm-hmm.
So. Oh, and I would also like to point out that I have the lizard with me.
You have a leopard gecko with you?
Yeah, I have a leopard gecko with me.
Excellent. I love it. Yeah.
Justin is sitting, has straddled their chair backwards and has a margarita in front of them because they always get a margarita because everyone else gets a margarita. But they're kind of sipping at it. Margarita is not their drink. They do also have the worst Long Island iced tea they've ever drank in their life. But the bartender, bless their heart, people come here for the margaritas, apparently. Apparently people don't come here for the Long Island iced teas, and there's a reason, but he makes it with sweet tea, like Southern sweet tea.
Yeah.
I've never had that before, not this way. And that's good enough to cover just about every other sin in this glass. So I'm stuck in this love-hate relationship with the worst Long Island iced tea made with the best sweet tea I've ever had. And I'm just drinking it, making weird faces after every sip, but steady sipping.
Do they have an alcoholic coffee drink?
Oh, absolutely. There's even like one of the things that like your server will do for you is like if you want like a vodka shot inside of like a chai or a hot chocolate or a mocha, that's usually what they recommend.
Okay, so I'll have one of those.
Yeah, vodka mocha. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
They'll do everything. And like, as they make this suggestion to y'all and y'all are all arguing your margaritas, because there is actual table service here. If you sit at the patio table, the server who serves you pretty much every weekend that you're here, they just, this cute little non-binary person in a crop top is just like, yeah. Also, just to let you know, we have a special right now for snake bites, which is half Austin East cider, half Pearl Snap lager, and you are pale ale, and it's a great combination, especially for this humid weather.
I'll try that.
Okay,
But you gotta
cool.
promise there ain't gonna be no real snakes in that.
Oh, no. They just call it because it's got like, because of all the hoppiness and the sourness of the cider, it just got like that bite to it, right?
See, that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
But then we had a really bad experience not that long ago, and I just gotta be sure.
Oh, I mean, are you talking about the cobra that got out?
I'm talking about the cobra.
It's been a while. But I mean, remember when they took pictures in front of all of like in front of Stevie Ray Vaughan and statue, and then the Photoshop for that, and then and then in front of the I love you so much, and then in front of the hi, how are you? And she starts listing like all these murals and statues that the Twitter account photoshopped a cobra with a top hat on, taking pictures, just listing like it's a cultural phenomenon that remains in Austin. She goes, oh, but I'm gonna get that snake bite for you. Anyone else, or we're just good?
I'm working on this.
Okay, cool.
No,
cool.
I'll take one.
Oh, okay, yes, we got you.
Maybe
Like,
round
does a
two.
little bop. You hear across from the other end of you, just a little woof, as one of the other groups, because there are dogs everywhere as well, because everyone brings their dogs out in Austin. As your server passes by, and just a corgi just goes woof, as and she just says hi. They just say hi to it and just like go on about.
Clasps lizard box protectively.
Allison, why do you have a lizard with you today?
I've been asking myself that question ever since we got here. And to be honest with you, I'm not really sure either. And I'm going to pull out the business card this is why I write down names. Carissa Dubrock left. She works for the city, apparently, the person that brought this lizard here, but I don't know. There was something weird going on. She was acting all suspicious. She came in, made it seem like she was just trying to find a way to pawn this off on somebody. I thought at first she was trying to surrender an exotic animal, but then she said, no, I'll pay you to just watch it for me. And then it was really weird. You know how like the snake and all the other rifts and stuff leave like a spooky trail? Well, she was leaving one of those behind her as she left. Something ain't right.
Does Louisa have the same last name as?
Yes.
I was like, oh, do Brock? I think I'm supposed to tattoo somebody related to her.
Wait, you were supposed to tattoo somebody related to her because she called a tattoo place to cancel an appointment while she was in the Hurt House.
Oh, weird. That was me. She tried to get the deposit back, but we don't really do that. So
Yeah.
Okay,
to be fair, that is why I asked if she was from out of town, because she was pretty upset about that. And I was like, maybe she just doesn't get it.
that's really weird. I'm pretty sure she called my school asking about a wait list spot, saying it was gonna be like 3 or 4 years. she was calling on behalf of Louisa.
That's the person who's supposed to have my tat. She's 19 though. Like, definitely not going back to school, I hope.
I'm gonna lean forward and pick up the card, which, because she got coffee dumped all over both of us, smells like coffee, and I'm gonna whiff it and be like, now either there's been a whole bunch of coffee related incidents today, or this is the woman who plowed into me at full speed, dumped coffee all over both of us, and then caught an attitude when I asked her if she wanted to clean up in my bathroom. That lady was having a fucking day.
Yeah.
But what are the odds that she would have interacted with all of us by accident?
Yeah, that's weird.
I mean, yeah, no, that's weird as hell, actually. You said that you saw a pulse trail off her?
Yeah, like a little gray shadow thing on the little reptile case, and then she left and it was following her out the door.
Huh.
Ooh, I have an idea. She works for the city, so like we can probably just Google her and see if she's been like in the news for anything weird or untoward, or like look up a bio online. Can I do that?
Yeah, of course. There's Wi-Fi here. I mean, it's not like you need it. You probably got AT&T. It's fine.
I can neither confirm nor deny my cell carrier.
Yeah.
Do you want me to roll for that, or just?
Yeah, go ahead and roll to see, because depending on what you roll, I'm gonna have something slightly different with different ways to give the information.
I'm not going to use any tags, but my heart rate is 7, so hopefully 3. That is, I can't read that. 4 hits.
So yeah, so wow, that's astonishing. So you sort of pull up your phone and you Google her name, and actually
the Matrix.
Yeah, and and actually the first thing that comes up, like you Google her name, City of Austin, or sort of thing, is a live video.
Ooh. Wherever she is, and I'll like usher everybody over so we can watch. Is she in town? Because she did say that she was going out of town.
No, she said she was going to the Capitol.
Oh, she was going to the Capitol building. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like that's where she is?
Yeah, you gotta click on the video to watch it.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I assumed it was one of those like autoplay things that normally you never want it to automatically play, but in this one case,
Gotcha.
I'm like, no, I want to watch it.
Yeah. So you sort of click on the video and it's a live KXAN, just dropping the freaking radio TV stations here, KXAN video. And it's playing, and you see in the lower thirds is you can't hear it very well because there is music playing, and you'd have, you know how like when you're trying to play a video in a place where there's noise, so you can't like really hear what's going on. But there is Carissa like sitting at a desk at a microphone with what looks like next to her like a lawyer, essentially pleading her case to the Texas Senate. And it says Carissa begs for daughter's life Dubrock begs for daughter's life in the lower thirds. And while you're watching the video, you see her pick up a phone because it starts to vibrate. And at first she kind of looks, and then she doesn't, and then she looks again. And she goes, it looks like she says, I have to take this. And she leaves the building. And because she leaves the building, the video goes to an ad. Um, Andie, you are the way that you're sort of oriented on this table, this little picnic table almost. Like next to you, there's sort of like a planter, right? And you hear the buzzing of a fly next to you. You know, if you want to swap it away. And as you sort of look to the side, the fly buzzes and it lands on a leaf. And you watch as the leaf just curls and takes it as the sundew that you haven't seen on like previous weekends. It just curls up and begins to do that, to eat this fly. And simultaneously, all of you feel it. You feel the veil tear. You feel the pulse. You feel 1 second. There's a lot of noise coming from my kitchen. You feel a heartbreak. And the world around you stops. Like time stops. Or just significantly slows down as everything just feels heavier and feels darker. And around all of you, the flora grows and thickens and grows around people and engulfs them. And what was once a patio bar becomes a rainforest with thick canopies, oppressive humidity. And you all know what's up. A pulse has just broke the veil. What do you do?
So I'm going to push back real quick as I notice the greenery start to unfurl towards our table. I'm going to go ahead and kind of jump up on the table, start tugging at anybody who is not noticing in that direction. I'm trying to get us up so that we can see what's going on.
To like climb the canopy?
No, I'm just up. I don't know how vigorous are these plants growing? Damn,
It's vigorous. It is vigorous. You're like, it's like
the table
Jumanji
is not going to
vigorous.
do it, huh?
Yeah, it's Jumanji vigorous. That's
Hey.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, no, I'm gonna go ahead and go from I'm gonna go from tabletop to I'm gonna start trying to ascend to the canopy.
Okay. I'll make this a roll. It'll be a medium roll, so you would need like 3 successes to be able to get up there.
All right.
Excuse me.
No, I only got 1.
1. Yeah, no, as you attempt to, I just closed the door and Romeo just came out of the closet and is like, can I leave now? Like, yes, my son, you can leave.
Gotta love them.
It's okay. Okay. Yeah, it's so thick. It's so it's like whenever you see an opening, it's almost like the growth just in vines just intertwine to like block that out, right? And you go to another one and the vines just twist and like block that out, like an entire dome of plant is just engulfing this part of the city.
Okay. So I'm going to pause in frustration on my perch of a nearby branch and huff once and realize that this is going to be this is very definitely a team thing. I'm not going to be able to reach the top by myself. And two, we are probably not going to be able to do this in civvies. So I'm going to jump back down to the tabletop and I'm going to hook my thumbs underneath my not nearly as big as it is when I'm transformed, but still obnoxiously big belt buckle and say, I think that this needs more than we have on us right now. Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
Cocks Super Soaker in one hand and grabs Lizard in the other. Let's go.
This is an escort mission.
Escorting the lizard.
I would like for each of you to actually describe, to the best of your abilities, what your transformation into your magical girl looks like. We know what you look like, but I want to know, like, what is the sequence that gets you to that point as you suit up.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So as Justin hooks their thumbs behind their belt buckle, they give it that little tug like you would do the suspenders. But as they do, the belt buckle expands until it is roughly the size of a shield. It comes off their belt, and as they hold the shield in front of them, they pull it back. And as so it blocks the camera, and then it pulls back. And as it pulls back, at first you see the hat appearing. Just this ridiculous, bright white 10-gallon hat with a big old star on it. Of course, I think I'm the sheriff. And then my beautiful, hideous cardigan cowboy duster. Not a practical leather to keep me warm in the rain. No, my ugly woven burnt orange and caramel brown sweater cardigan that is a trench duster. You
Just
see my big
unfolds.
shoes. Okay, it just falls around me all the way down to my jingling spur boots as I spin in a circle, because of course this can't be done in one position. You must spin. You must lean into it. So as I spin behind my shield and lift my dainty little feet in my hideously bright white, how do they stay so clean? It's so dusty here boots with my gold spurs, too big, too sharp. What are you gonna, you can't ride a horse with those, but still they're on my feet. And I grab my shield buckle, pose with it, grab my lasso, say, let's go.
Okay. Who's next? Who wants to follow that?
Nobody wants to follow that.
Yeah, I mean,
Watch a lot of anime.
well, I don't watch any anime, so I'll go because regardless, I'm kind of gonna embarrass myself a little bit.
That's why I made you watch anime last month.
That's true. I guess the forest spirit really does make the flowers grow. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take. Okay, this seems okay. I'm gonna do what I can here. Somehow from the bunch of different like cargo short pockets that I have on my work clothes, because my work clothes and my magical girl clothes are very similar. I pulled the giant super soaker out of a normal like cargo pant pocket, like a Mary Poppins bag, and do this sort of like, all right, snake bite, no question about it, it's time to go. And I take one last drink of the margarita and then put it in to load the super soaker. And then I take one last drink of the snake bite and put it in to load the super soaker. And then I take like a wedge of a lime that was like on somebody else's cup. And I just like start squeezing it into the super soaker to get as much available liquid as I can in here and ready to go. I mean, why the heck not? We're doing this towards the very end. So I'm gonna do this is so stupid. I give the super soaker a nice pump, and like in the way that like those sprinklers from a water show go up and kind of like dance around each other, it just makes us all look really cool as we're getting showered with this awful mixture of margarita, snakebite, and lime juice. And then I open the other pocket of my cargo pants, keeping in mind that I guess I'm like cradling the little lizard like a football in my other arm. So I open the other pocket of my cargo pants and I look down into it and I go, all right, ladies, let's see what you're made of. And then out of this pocket comes crawling a bunch of tiny little baby alligators that are all like, nah! Baby alligators is one of my tags because it can be. They're just here now. I'm not even trying to make a roll, but I can like use them to do that later. So there's a small posse of baby alligators that is now gonna be traveling with us towards whatever danger we might face.
Listen, if for my own Hearts Beats game, we had a move that could consist of meth coyotes, you can have baby alligators. You're fine.
So
it's so as like these baby alligators sort of, I also just kind of want to add that they all have khakis on. Like they have a full
I love
khaki
this.
outfit on, like crocodile hunter style.
Yes.
And
yes.
one of
they
the
look like
gators,
they're employees of the alligator farm. That's the all khaki uniform. Yes.
One of the baby gators just like crawls up to your shoulder and looks at this leopard gecko, boops it on the nose, and the gecko has its own transformation. And it is now.
Yes, I knew making friends with the gecko was gonna be a good idea.
And it now also it stands up on two legs and has like a mimic of your outfit and its own super soaker.
Well, that was unexpected.
It's like, I'm not quite sure what happened, but I like it.
Me neither. You look great. Let's go.
I feel like I should. And he like pulls out a tiny machete and it's like, that's a knife.
I'm also going to take a quick second to pop in and say, 1, you all have a team move to do, and 2, we reached our $500 goal.
Yay!
Thank you so much. Let's keep going.
Let's keep going. All right. We got 2 transformations and I need to know what's happening.
I can go next if.
Go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, I think, Andie, who is dressed in like frumpy cottagecore, but not quite teacher get up, hair is always looks frazzled, mess by Friday. Everything dims, like lights dim. And, she stretches out her hand and rainbow shimmering goes from it to kind of form her bow. And as the camera focuses on that, everything else on her form is silhouetted a la, Sailor Moon, because we're going to be discreet here, as the clothing starts to shift into that chromatic fancy garb she is in her transformed state. Smooths out her hair, the quiver appears with all different arrows. And once all of that is done and rainbow wraps around and forms the gloves, everything, spotlight and striking a pose, spins an arrow. Let's go.
Last but not least.
So Millie's general aesthetic is like summer goth, which is how you have to exist if you're gonna wear all black in Texas. So I think they're probably wearing like a crop top, and like black crop top and black shorts and like docks. And
they come in sandals now.
They do. They're very cute.
What? Yeah,
they're really cute. They have really great cute platform sandals. They're wearing like the platform gladiator sandals. And I think with seeing that everything's going to hell, they have like a length of chain wrapped around, like tattooed, wrapped around their arm, and they like grab it, and it starts to manifest as their weapon, the meteor hammer, and they start like slowly like whirling it over their head, and as it like picks up momentum, like that's their clothes manifest, and that's where you see them in their like kind of like a monk outfit with various grays and blacks, flowy outfit, and they are ready to party.
Yeah. The four of you and the alligators and the gecko, so like technically 5 plus, all are there, as everyone else seems to be suspended in time with the exception of these growing plants and vines. And the little gecko holds up his machete and looks over, and it goes, "My name is Carlos, by the way. Thanks for having me." And 1 second, and like sort of like hops over, goes to one of the server trays and takes an entire shot of tequila, and it's like, "Let's go!" And he's ready to go with you on this adventure. And I need 2 minutes because my bladder demands that I go to the bathroom. And then we will continue into this fight. So as y'all sort of like barrel through the vines, have a conversation. I'll be right back.
Okay, but what if we don't and we just talk about how much we love Carlos until Val comes
I was
back?
gonna say,
Carlos is my
love going
favorite
on in
thing
the
about
chat.
this game now. 100%.
Because, like, I mean, he's the new star. We might as well all just hang it up because he's a tiny talking gecko in a magical fucking Steve Irwin uniform with a super soaker and a machete who just took his own body weight in tequila. Like, how are we supposed to compare with that?
I'm just gonna resign myself to the fact that I'm gonna be a supporting actor here. That's fine. This was definitely worth it.
Alison is now the sidekick.
Oh, yes.
It is now Carlos and the Austin Heroes. Title character.
The baby alligators are like, "Mother, we will never be as cool as that other reptile. Or is it an amphibian, Mother? We cannot tell." That's definitely a reptile.
He is.
I don't know why they all spoke with one voice like that, but they did.
I assume Carlos leads the charge with the machete through the vines.
Yeah, I think this is wise. It's like, you got a lot of rage, my dude.
What if he's in a tiny chariot being pulled by the baby alligator?
Oh my God. I would burn a tag to make that happen. I think we should definitely make it happen.
We should work that into our team move somehow.
Yes. Oh, we have a major team up move. We
do.
Right?
Oh my gosh, chat. This is so great. You now know this, and the GM does not. At some point during our team move, it will involve Carlos and a chariot and the 5 baby alligators, and Val will not be prepared. She is going to lose her shit.
I am very ready for this. I also feel bad taking this lady's money now, because it's like, this clearly is not just an ordinary lizard. I feel like you should maybe have a conversation with your daughter's pet about why it's carrying a knife.
Do the gators
Like what?
Do the gators have names?
Oh gosh, they really should, shouldn't they?
What if you name them after like the 7 dwarfs?
Oh, I like that.
That'd be fun.
Can I? Hi, I'm back. Could I get a group roll from y'all? Because I want y'all to figure out where this pulse is coming from. I want y'all to get a pinpoint on this. Just a group roll of your heartbeats, please.
Okay, where we've just transformed again for the first time, are we all reset to 5?
I will let y'all have 5 and your tags back for this. Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Just because it's a one shot, we can do whatever the fuck we want.
That is true. All right,
2
I have
successes.
1 success but no failures.
Okay. I just need successes. I don't care about failures. 2.
Okay, I got 1.
1. Okay. And
Oh,
all of you,
5 successes.
yeah, no. So
Damn.
as y'all just sort of like have this spatial awareness about you, where you're at. Millie, you're the first to sense it, but the source of this pulse is coming from the state capitol.
Okay, I'm just gonna say I'm in Maine and I have no fucking idea where the state capital is in relation to us. Like, are we going like
it's actually
5 minutes
fairly
up the
close.
road,
It's actually
2 hours up
it is fairly close. The state capital is y'all are pretty much right off of campus. Like, what are the place that y'all are called is it's colloquially called the Drag in Austin. It's where like UT kids, there's the Lutheran college that's there too. Like everyone is here. The Church of Scientology is apparently on it. I don't know.
Okay.
This is and the Capitol itself is on Congress Street, and it's the end of Congress, and it is less than a mile away from you all through downtown.
Okay, because I wanted to be sure, because like
Mm-hmm.
I know in big enough cities you can go for like 2.5 hours before you get to the other side of the city, and I'm like, where the fuck are we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if my family is done screaming from the other room, so let's go ahead and so we're all just aiming. We're gonna mile up the road. That's like a 2-minute run. We're superheroes. Shit. Let's go ahead.
Yeah, y'all got this.
There
is a lot of difficult terrain as y'all start to make your way through, because the concrete jungle that is Austin has become an actual jungle, right? Assuming y'all are all heading there, so I can take some little narrative leaps here for a second.
Yeah.
As y'all are sort of trying to press your way through these vines and these leaves and these plants, and it's just plants, like animals are not present, right? I would like 4. Ooh, 4. So that makes it Justin. Justin, you in your get up, literally, it's pressing through. I need you to go ahead and roll a defense heartbeat roll as you're going through, and you just see whipping out a Venus flytrap coming to like fucking eat you from out of nowhere.
Just okay. I rolled 2 5s and a 1.
Perfect. So like it comes at you. You defend. How do you defend this?
I'm going to I'm going to go ahead and use my tag Everything's Bigger in Texas to summon my enormous belt buckle shield, and I'm going to pull it up in front of me as I slide underneath. I'm going to hold it overhead.
Cool. You hold it overhead, and those spines that a Venus flytrap has on its mouth, so to speak, I don't know the technical term, like envelopes and wraps around it, and you see like it stick and crisscross against each other around your shield, but luckily enough not swallowing you. But you are in that defensive position, and it would be the failure is that your shield is caught as well, even whether you're holding it or not. And the rest of you start to see that this is not the only fly trap that is there. There are 5 others that are just sort of coming out from the bush and almost forming that are there to keep you from continuing on towards the Capitol. And now you have this challenge of clearing out, disposing, or escaping. I will roll a d4 to see who goes first this time. And it is actually Justin. So with a 4.
Okay. So let's see. I'm pinned down underneath the weight of this heavy Venus flytrap. It's got my shield. I'm going to I'm going to go ahead and try to stand up and force my shield sideways and actually just cut through the Venus flytrap. I'm gonna try to cut the plant in half. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and roll heartbeat.
All right.
Heart rate. Yeah.
I have 2 successes.
Yeah, 2 successes. This was a pretty difficult, so you would have needed 3 to succeed.
No.
So your heart rate's not gonna your heart rate is not going to change, but as you're trying to defend yourself and now use your shield as a weapon, the strap of your shield breaks, and this fly trap lifts up and completely closes around your shield. You've now lost access to it currently because it is now slowly decomposing inside of this Venus flytrap.
My belt buckle, my pants. Okay.
Who are you passing the spotlight to?
I'm going to go ahead and pass the spotlight to Andie.
Okay, seeing Justin lose their shield, Andie, I think, is more concerned with, can we find a way out of this? So Andie is going to start looking for a path that she can help kind of pull everyone along or guide them along this way. I'm going to use the tag follow the leader to see if we can make this happen.
It's just so adorable.
Well, that's no successes and 1 failure.
And you added so you rolled 7 total?
Yep.
No successes.
Nope.
And a failure.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you get their attention, but not in the sense of you know, they like you, but they might like to eat you. Who are you passing the spotlight to?
Gonna pass the spotlight to Millie.
Okay. So the guys are coming to go get Andie, correct?
What's up?
The critters are going to go get Andie.
If they had eyes, their entire like little pet shop of horror bodies definitely turn to look to all kind of like look at Andie. So yeah, it's a little obvious that she's got their attention. Yeah.
Okay. I think I want to draw a sigil.
All right.
So I would like to use the tag. Sigil. And I want to do fire.
Perfect. With fire, it's definitely, you would probably only need, how much are you doing? Well, depending on what your roll, I'll tell you how much you're able to succeed with the fire. So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
One success.
A singular
success.
It's all right. So the fire, you attempt to manifest your fire, like with your sigil, and it exists, and there is a fire, but there's so much humidity in the air from all of these plants that nothing is catching fire. Nothing. But one of them gets your attention. It's like, and that's yeah. Who are you passing this? Well, I would believe we're up at Alison. So
Yeah.
Yep, that's me. In the absence, well, okay. There's fire. Yeah.
Nothing can seem, there's a fire on the ground, on the concrete, but nothing is catching fire, if
That's fine.
Sense.
That's
Yeah.
all I need, because guess what I have? A super soaker full of alcohol.
Yes.
So I would like to carefully, so as not to extinguish the small amount of fire that we do have, basically like spray near the base of it to make a little trail towards plant matter that could then catch fire, and hope that we don't all die because of my very clearly irresponsible use of recreational water sports tools. So is that just a normal roll?
Yeah, it's a normal roll, and I'll tell you essentially like how many successes you have is like how much you're probably going to take out, sort of thing.
So yeah. I'm going to add my like extra die that was donated back when we all got a D6 because I don't want to mess this up. Oh, cool. Well, that was just about as bad / good as it could be. It was 3 hits and 3 ones.
Cool. You know what? That's fine. And I said that there were 5 total. So with that, you're gonna take out 2 of them.
Okay.
So how do you go ahead and how do you take out 2 of them? Like, what does it look like?
Okay, so I think one of them, I want to do like a little like 1-2 thing where I take like a little quick shot and shoot like the weird cocktail at the mouth or the plant head itself, so that it snaps shut, and then basically like shoot, snap shut, and then I grab both of them and just hold them over the flame, and I'm just like, don't burn the hair on my arms, don't burn the hair on my arms, ow, 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 hot, and then just like drop them and run away. I keep an eye on the baby alligators just to make sure that they're still doing okay. But yeah.
And then cinematically, the spotlight moves over to Carlos. As he stands there, sheathes his tiny super soaker, brings out his second machete, and it's like, it's time to slice and dice, and does like just leaps off of your shoulders with like both machetes just like crossed over like this, and goes to try and sever one of these guys' heads. So we'll see if he succeeds in this. He has his slice and dice tag, so he won't keep that, which I just had to make out. Like makeup. And he rolls 5 successes. So he takes out the third one. And this is also the one that is holding Arnica's shield. Or Justin's shield. So as he like goes and severs the head from the vine with his machetes and does a really cool like superhero pose, like if anyone has ever played like Persona 5, just like does this pose, and you just see like in the background like a silhouette, like a black silhouette of like the plant head just falling over, and like sprays of ichor and goo just come out, and then the shield comes out of its mouth. It's not in the best shape, but it's not in the worst shape either, as it did kind of start to decompose and erode a little bit, Arnica. But your belt buckle is back. Rusty, but back. There are now 2 plants left. The one that is concentrated on Andie and one that is concentrated on Millie. And I would like for y'all to each roll defense rolls to see, because as these 2 come to try to eat you.
That is 2 successes and 1 failure.
No successes and 3 failures.
No.
My dice.
So yeah, Andie, you defend. You defend against this because it's almost like, they're almost hive-mindy, and that they get a little bit weaker as other things die. Yes, I know it's 4:30. Thank you, phone. So you're able to defend that. So how does that look for you? How do you ward off this thing?
I think it's, when the fly trap comes to like get a bite out of Andie, she just like blocks it with her longbow, kind of forcing its mouth open until she can slip away under another vine out of its path.
Cool. Excellent. And as you do that though, Millie, as you attempt your unarmed defense, essentially, it's like, nah. And it kind of takes you by surprise because you're just thinking, oh, like it's just going to clamp around me. But instead, 2 vines rip up and just wrap around your wrist. And it holds you up and tosses you into the air so that you are falling into its mouth by surprise. Go ahead and lower your heart rate by 1, please.
Okay.
But I will put the spotlight on you to give you a chance to respond.
So I'm about to get ate up. So I think what I would like to do is manifest my ink to, I don't know, give me a protective shield, like to pull it up.
I love it. Go ahead, manifest your ink.
One success. Man.
Oof. It is not enough, unfortunately. As it tries to manifest, but again, this humidity is oppressive and it almost just breaks your ink away and decomposes it as you fall into its mouth and it clamps around you. Who are you passing the spotlight to?
To Justin.
All right, Justin, let's go.
Okay, so real glad that I've got my, that's right, you said tags back. So I've got my lyricist tag back, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to summon my lasso into existence again, and I'm going to infuse the words made in it with words of protection, with words of friendship, and with words of holding on real tight. And I'm going to cast it at the last second and try to snatch Millie out of this thing's mouth before it can close all the way around her.
Let's go.
All right. So 5 and then 6, 7. And I have 2 successes and no failures. But I only got 2 successes.
You know what? That's fine. I wasn't going to make this too difficult. Yeah, no, you are able to. How do you do this? Go ahead.
All right. So my lasso is going to sneak through the closing gap at the last minute and kind of snag around Millie's ankle. And I'm going to go ahead and rope trick it by using I'm going to go ahead and grab the rope, kind of snag around my foot so I can yank it very fast and rip her right out of the quickly closing jaws. It probably won't be a very graceful landing because I only had 2 successes. So I'm going to assume that I'm going to go ahead and catch Millie, but we're both going to stumble back and lose our balance.
Stumble back and the fly trap is still in existence and alive. Sort of thing. Awesome. Y'all are prone and on the ground with some Evil Dead level of vines just sort of creeping up upon the 2 of you. Who are you passing your spotlight on to?
I think it's just Alison and Carlos left. Carlos,
I think Andie too. Yeah.
Andie, do you? Okay, I couldn't remember if Andie started this one or not.
I'm
still gonna go. I'm still gonna go Alison.
All right, Alison.
Okay, so it's Justin and Millie that are both stuck on the ground. Okay, cool. I'd like to see if I can basically like use my turn to command the alligators to start chomping on the vines so that they can get themselves out of there freely. And I'm just gonna take the little bit of like the little bit of that like small shrimp that we had for Carlos, who was not named Spot, and just be like, all right, youngins, it's feeding time. And I'm going to sprinkle the shrimp on the vines in the hopes that when the alligators go to chomp the vines, they can just like, you know, get y'all out of this entangling morass. So the little baby alligators are like, with their tiny
on top of that, because you're using the shrimp, I will. It's a magical item, so you can have an extra d6 to your roll as well.
Oh, cool. All right. Yeah. 4, 5, 6, and then 8 because I am using the baby alligators as a tag.
Remember, tags do give you 2 d6.
Yes, I made sure that I added both. Okay, so 4 successes and a fail.
Okay, not only do like, so you go and you throw the shrimp upon these remaining plants.
But it's like
Just
I'm scattering rose petals.
There's a moment where like Carlos is like, ooh, snacks. It's like, nope, not for me.
Focus, Carlos. Focus.
The gators swarm the remaining plants. The remaining Venus traps, and just begin to go to town on them to the point where they're no longer an issue. As y'all are now able to get your bearing straight and continue to the capital, and I will empty my bladder again.
I feel like it's very important that y'all should know that as soon as Val finished describing that, Take Me Home Country Roads started playing on my music.
Nice.
Amazing.
The little alligators, just I'm imagining that's like their slow motion montage music as they're just like, ow, ow.
That's a visual I didn't know I needed, but I know,
me neither. Me neither. Oh man. So Andie, I'm passing to you. Do we have any, aside from our big team up that we're all saving for the big slam bang finish, did anybody else have team ups left that we should coordinate on? Or
I think Andie and I might have a team up that we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
It was like, I feel like there was one more that we didn't use just yet.
Yeah,
There's also the gay, the 1d6 for doing something gay.
I mean,
I called out a girl's Payless shoes, really.
that's true.
I think that checks the box.
I think that counts.
And
also,
I know
my dice hate me today, so I could use it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
And I haven't used my D6 yet from the very beginning.
I used mine to burn plants without burning myself. So thank you for the person that donated that, because that really helped.
Like I'm using bisexual dye, which is kind of like
oh, that's so cool.
Those are super cute.
I have the like clearish ones of those.
oh cool.
Oh, that's fantastic.
All my dice are digital.
I think I have bisexual dice somewhere. I must.
All right. So y'all are able, thanks to these gators, to push on through. And you make it to what is Congress Avenue. And the way that Congress Avenue was set up, and it still seems to be set up this way, is that no matter where you're at on Congress, when you look north, you see the capital, right, of Texas. So when y'all land on Congress and you look north to the direction of the Capitol, instead of the Capitol building, you see a Capitol building size sundew, furling and unfurling. At one point, you even see it furl up what looks like to be a wheelchair, like crushing. If y'all are from Texas, you get it. And then like tossing it to the side. It is lifting up cars. It is lifting up people. It is rampaging and consuming anything that its tiny little suction tendrils can pick up. And you feel from it its heartbreak and its sadness, and you know this is the source of heartbreak. This is the pulse. This is where this pain is coming from. What do y'all do?
So going to kind of stop, freeze, take in the moment, and this, enormous, it is beautiful in its heart. I love a sundew personally. I think they're so cute. I like the red, I like the yellow. I think they're really actually very beautiful little plants, but not when they're eating everybody in town. Then they tend to, I like them less. So I think that, like, we're not in reach yet, but how close would we have to get before we were in reach of those tendrils?
The tendrils themselves take up like the entire yard that the capital would be on. So I would say from the center of the plant to the end of each tendril would be about, those tendrils are probably about 100 feet long. And from where y'all are at, y'all are about 300 feet away from said tendrils.
Okay. So I'm going to I want to, why am I asking you if I have any magic powers?
You have magic powers. You're a magical
who knows
girl.
If I have I'm the one who knows what my powers are. I was about to be like, can I? Yes, I can. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I want to see if I can feel anything familiar about this pulse, if I can tell what it is, other than, ooh, that's what's causing this. I want to see if there's anything I feel that's familiar about this.
Yeah, pulse. Go ahead. Roll your, do you have a tag? If you have a tag that you can apply to it?
Nope.
Okay, just go ahead and roll your heart rate, please, and it'll just be a difficulty roll.
Okay, I got 2 successes, no failures.
So with the 2 successes, you don't know exactly what it is or who it is, but you know that the heartbreak is that of a mother's.
Okay. Okay, well, that's going to, I feel like that's going to change. It softens, Justin. I don't know what's happened, but I do know that if I'm facing the pulse of a heartbroken mother on the campus capital, that my heart is more with the pulse than it is with anyone else. I don't know what has caused this, but right now, my instinct is telling me that the best way to solve this is, not necessarily to defeat the monster, but God, we need to find out what has happened. So I'm going to try to, get closer and call out to it. I'm going to try to get its attention.
Okay.
So, yeah, and then, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of take a few steps away from my friends and kind of hands over my head and go, hey, it's an asshole thing to do. I can't figure out what else to do other than try to draw its attention to me.
As you do that, what you see, and we'll have this be its turn, you see these vines spritch up from the concrete, and they're all holding pots of coffee. of hot boiling coffee.
Damn.
And it's going to toss a dozen hot coffee pots at you.
Damn it.
It's using its tag Grasping Vines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has 7 heartbeats, 8, 9 with its tag. And it's a roll against each other.
Cool. Because I already rolled and I'm not stoked.
What did you roll?
I had no successes and 1 failure.
What?
Great. So I had 6 successes.
What?
Your heartbeat goes up by 6. Well, we'll go up by 5 to bring you to 10. Because I'm not heartbreaking you in the last 15 minutes of this.
I'm not saying you can try, but you know how extra I am. We
You
don't
are
have
so
time for
extra. As you are doused in McDonald's style heat coffee.
No. Oh my God, everyone is throwing coffee on me this week. I'm going to fall to the ground just screaming, why do people keep throwing coffee at me?
And I'm going to toss our spotlight over as Justin is doused in coffee. I'm going to toss our spotlight over to who is number 2 on our list. That would make it Andie. Andie.
So after watching Justin attempt to communicate with this and seeing it not go well, I think Andie's gonna react by trying to just fire a volley of arrows.
Okay.
And we're gonna use the tag teacher glare. So like, giving the plant a stern look. While we do it.
No problem.
That is going to be 3 successes, but also 2 failures.
I got 2. Do you want to raise or lower its heartbeat? It's at 7.
I assume we want to go up, even though it's going to make it more difficult for us. Yeah, we'll go up.
All right, cool. We'll raise its heartbeat by 9. What does this look like? These arrows will plummet. And when you plummet them, when you hit dead in the center, and as you hit in the center, you see this bud that is uncharacteristic of Sundew, and it slightly opens. And for those of you who have physically met her, which would just be Justin and Alison, you do see Carissa there. And she is sort of in a fetal position. And you can sort of floating within this, where this bud would be. And you see like droplets of tears sort of frozen in gravity, almost like around her. It's very anime from her eyes. And she is there. And maybe now that it's open, maybe voices can reach. Who are you passing the spotlight to?
I'll toss to Alison.
All right, Alison.
Okay, I have an idea that now that voices can reach, I'm going to call off the baby alligators for a second, but hold them nearby just in case we start freaking out, and just be like, Mr. Brock, I know you're upset. I don't know what's causing you to turn into a plant, but can you please just come down from there for a second? We can maybe try and talk this through. And I would like to use my tag reptilian brain to basically say that I am making an appeal to her emotions by saying I know she's upset, but also be like, I don't know what happened to your daughter. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I have her lizard, and the lizard's still in good shape.
And before you even make the roll, you have Carlos, who's back on your shoulder with his machete sheath, and he goes, Mama was in the hospital.
Oh.
Go ahead and make your roll.
this works. 3 successes.
I only rolled 2, so you get to move her heart rate up, or down by 1 if you want.
She's at 9 now.
She's at 9. Mhm.
Yeah, move up by 1 then.
By 1. And her eyes open at this point, and she, as you can see, that you are getting closer to her humanity again. And you know the tears are still streaming, and they're like, she goes, they could have saved her. I could have saved her. I wasn't fast enough. Who are you passing the spotlight to?
Was I at the top of the round? Who else?
Yeah.
Still, I think.
Well, you had Andie first, and
Okay.
no, and then you.
I'll pass to Millie.
All right, Millie, go ahead.
Your daughter was Louisa?
The ground vibrates in response
What?
as vines sort of start to furl from the concrete.
What happened to her?
She died.
I'm sorry. I don't know what to do. So I'm going to pass it to Justin.
Okay. So Justin is going to I'm going to go ahead and push myself up off the ground, and my heart rate is exceedingly high because I am feeling deeply conflicted. Not only am I covered in fucking coffee again, but I'm feeling really guilty. I've been thinking badly of this woman for days now, and she has obviously been having the worst week of her life. I don't know what she was going through, but she was certainly on her way with her thoughts busy of trying to save her child's life on the day that we bumped into each other. And I was thinking catty, super, super catty thoughts about her shoes and her clothes, and she's having a terrible day. So my heart rate is way up there. And all I want now is, I don't know what happened and we couldn't save her daughter, but I am determined that if we are going to save, we can't be Austin's heroes if we can't save this woman. If we can't figure out what went wrong and stop it from happening again. So I'm going to go ahead and look over at Andie and be like, I think we can get her out. If you and I team up now, we might be able to bust through this sundew, and then with all of our powers combined, we may be able to pull her out once the thing is weakened. So we're going to go ahead and use our team up move, Rain of Stars, and it has Andie firing an arrow upward and me smashing it into pieces. So Andie, if you want to go ahead and tell us about your arrow that you're going to shoot up.
Yeah, so Andie pulls out an arrow from her quiver that is like pure white light, and she aims straight up and fires it. And we can see if Justin will be able to break it into pieces.
Yeah, roll. So y'all both roll, please.
All right. Okay, well, I have like 10 dice, so I have 4 successes.
Yeah, excellent.
I got one to add to that.
So 5 successes. No, that is actually exactly what y'all needed to sort of counter this. You describe how this succeeds for me. Like substantially succeeds for me. And we're coming to time, so this is probably going to be the last move.
Oh, that's okay, because we had planned for just such an occasion.
Yes.
What happens is that as Andie launches this bolt of pure light into the sky, I go ahead and I use my lariat, I spin it above my head and I crack it, and it arcs into the air, impacts with this light, and it falls like stars. But as it falls with the warmth of a mother's love, but also with the love of a child for their mother. The love of a child who knows that her mother tried her hardest for her, who didn't want to leave her gecko, who did not want to die because of, all these things that did not need to happen. So as they fall down and they pierce through the sundew, Carlos and the baby alligators. Alison, would you like to tell us how Carlos and the baby alligators are going to ride through this meteoric rain, this downpouring of love, and save Carissa?
Why, yes, I would. They're going to ride through with Carlos brandishing machetes on the back of a motherfucking chariot. So it's basically just like made out of all of the like old plant bits and like some pieces of vines to form reins for the baby alligators that are not quite galloping, but alligators are really fast. So they're just quick running their tails, try not to whack too hard into each other. And they're going to do like one of those go up the skateboard ramp and then try to grab onto Clarissa and out of the pulse as the giant plant is collapsing from the arrow shot.
And I just want to ask real quick, Millie, do you have anything to add to this cinematically as well?
I think it's I think it's protection sigils. It's like an aura of like golden symbols that probably appears to help them escape.
Excellent. As this all rains down upon the sundew, pinning the carnivorous leaves, tearing them away from its center, and the plants retract, and the jungle becomes the city again, and time starts. You also just see, just sitting on the steps in her dollar store blouse, Payless shoes, manila folder, and a little gecko, sort of holding him, weeping and asking, "What about my baby?" As you all sort of join her at these steps to comfort her and her loss. And that, my friends, is actually where we're going to end. So, on a very somber note, but a reality for the women of Texas and the people of Texas who have uteruses. So, with that, hey, what's up? We're gonna take a moment to absorb. And I would like to, first of all, thank everyone for coming and showing up, always. And huge thanks, one, to Mur for putting this together. Huge thanks for Cole for putting together the overlay. Thank you so much, Cole. And of course, to Pablo for being our secretary for this entire thing. And of course, my wonderful players who we would like to know what your favorite, I would like to know, as we're just sort of going around, I would like to know your favorite moment real quick, and where we can just find you on the internet. And I'm just going to kind of go in that opposite direction and end on myself. So like Arnica, if you want to go first, take it away, friend.
All right. Hi. I'm Arnica and I played Justin James today. And this was an amazing game. I had so much fun playing with you guys. And I think, I had a whole bunch of moments, but I'm gonna say that my excellent fail in having to lay on the ground screaming, "Why is everyone throwing coffee on me?" That's up there. Normally I roll pretty good. I don't have games where I whiff it quite as often as this one, and it gave me some funny places. I enjoyed that. Um, and next week you can find me on the Girls Run the World's channel, where I will be playing in Bluebeard's Bride. At what is it? Yeah, at 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time next Sunday. And you can find me on Twitter, Arnica X Ross.
Cool. Nymeria, let's go, friend.
Heyo, it's me. I'm Anna, Nymeria941. Thank you all for a great game. This was super awesome. My favorite moments, I have two. My favorite moment that I got to be part of was Alison and Andie's team up to try and then fail to put a snake in timeout, just because that was fun. I just messaged you and I was like, hey, for our team up, should we put the snake in timeout? And we described what was going to happen. But my favorite moment was Arnica's description of Justin's transformation. And then Val goes, who'd like to go next? And we're all just like, no one can top that. That was amazing. That was just the best, off the cuff description of what a character looks like that I've ever encountered. So that was my favorite moment of the game. Oh yeah, where you can find me. I was like, it's been a minute since I streamed, y'all. It's been a couple months. Yeah. You can find me online. I'm on Twitter at Nymeria941. I'm also on Twitter and the internet generally at 6 String Games, which is the number 6 string games, like games on a guitar. My best friend Colin and I run that as a business together, where we write and publish tabletop role-playing games together. We just came out with a game that was authored by yours truly. It's called The Secret Ingredient is Love. You can buy it on our website, 6 String Games, for $6. And it is a solo journaling game about making recipes and making magic and all that cool stuff. And our games are also currently part of the TTRPG bundle for reproductive rights on itch.io. So if you have purchased that bundle already, or if you want to know what that's all about, it is a $5 bundle, and all of the proceeds are going to be split between Planned Parenthood and the National Network of Abortion Funds, which seems like it might be pertinent to the interests of people watching this show as well. So if you've purchased it, thank you. Thank you for sharing and spreading the word, and thank you for coming to watch this game.
All right. And Jess.
All right. So once again, my name is Jess. You can find me on Twitter at a Jess of all trades, and it's Jess with only one S. And there were so many good moments in this. I do think my favorite, though, was the sidebar conversations we were having with the chat while that was a way to plot some things. So that was a lot of fun. And yeah, if you happen to be in Maryland, I'm part of a Dungeons and Dragons themed improv troupe called Oh Crit. We perform next week on Friday. If you're not in Maryland, you can catch our stream at Met Comedy Night. But otherwise, that's about it.
All right. And last but not least, Jay.
I'm Jay. I played Millie today. My favorite part, I think, was everyone's transformation sequence. It was great descriptions. And you can find me pretty much everywhere at Soup Duchess. Otherwise, I'm just kind of like a regular guy. I don't do anything. But yeah, donate to abortion funds.
And Hey everyone, I was your storyteller today. I am Valdrianth. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Valdrianth. So far, the only thing I really have going for me is on Wednesdays, we have a Dungeons and Dragons actual play called Isekai University, where I play a centaur fighter warlock who happened to be a queen in her former life. And then I believe in a couple of weeks, you can find me over at Lost Caravan, where I will be playing some Cult Divinity Lost. Otherwise, I'm sort of just taken a break from producing and existing on the internet, but I am here to run things and to be around to just be a part of amazing things such as this fundraiser that Murrah's put on. So before I sign off, remember everyone, please donate to Fund Texas Choice. It is very important to my heart and everyone else's here. And with that, I think I'm good. I'm good to end. So I believe we'll be back in an hour with more game.
So the last game of the night is Out Damn Spot, which is a game of Bluebeard's Bride. That will start at 9 p.m. Eastern time, so in just a little less than an hour. In the meantime, I am taking us over to Raid TTRPG Gifts, who are currently raising money for the Robb Elementary School community in Uvalde, Texas. So if you've been paying attention to the news, I'm sure you know what's been happening. But they are also fundraising. They reached their $1,500 goal, and they're on their way to the next goal, $2,000. So, yeah, go give them some love over there, everybody, and have a lovely weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.